Hello, welcome once again, gentle folks. Hope you had a wonderful game week last week. As it relates to your winnings on the Serie A, and I'm going to head straight into it this week again. I'm going to give you more predictions and more betting tips. I hope that you're taking notes as usual. I want you to subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell as you subscribe as well, and share these videos on your social media platforms with your friends. This is just another way to earn passively. As usual, I have another channel here that I also do some stuff in terms of options trading, so you can check that out as well. And I wish you happy betting for the upcoming game week. And we're going to head straight into it, and we start on Saturday with Napoli versus Sassuolo. We're expecting Napoli to continue to handle business. They have had a good record this season. They are the top of everything that they're involved in. Top of Serie A, top of their group in the Champions League. They have won maybe about 95% of the games that they have played since the start of the season. Alright, the start of the season as in the start of the Serie A season. Alright, so heading straight into it, and starting, we're going to take Napoli to win this one. Napoli to win in terms of Napoli to win in terms of both teams scoring. I'm going to say here both teams to score. In terms of combination bet, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm going to take 3-1 in favor of Napoli. Head into the handicap system, I'm going to take Napoli to win this one by 8 goals. We're getting $1.83, and that's wonderful. Alright, anything over $1.50 is usually a good odds. Alright, so recapping predictions for Sassuolo versus Napoli. I'm expecting Napoli to win here, expecting both teams to score as well. And in terms of a combination bet, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-1 in favor of Napoli, and on the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take Napoli to win this one by 8 goals as well. Alright, so those are my predictions for Napoli versus Sassuolo. Now we're going to move on to our next game, and our next game is Lecce versus Juventus. Alright, Lecce versus Juventus here. This game now, Juventus also playing in Europe this week. Mind you, we have Champions League and Europa League and Conference League this week, so that might impact some of the games, the result status. Well, it may or may not, as usual, yeah. As you all know, if you haven't been betting long enough, then you will take note of that. Alright, so heading straight into this, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say both teams to score. I'm going to say no. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline for me here, I'm going to give Juventus this one. I'm going to finish this win this one by a goal to nil. In terms of a handicap system, I'd go with Juventus to win this one by a goal. Recapping predictions for Lecce versus Juventus, I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline 1-0 in favor of Juventus, I believe. And on the handicap system, I'm going to go ahead and take Juventus to win this game by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Lecce versus Juventus game. And now we're going to move on to our next game, and our next game is Inter Milan versus Sampdoria. Alright, Inter Milan playing Sampdoria here. I'm expecting Inter Milan to take care of business. It might not be easy, but I'm expecting them to take care of business here. Inter Milan to beat Sampdoria, expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'll go with either to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going to say here Inter Milan to win this one 3-1. And on the handicap system, I'll go right ahead and take Inter Milan to win this one by a goal as well. Alright, so recapping predictions for Inter Milan versus Sassuolo. I'm expecting Inter Milan to win. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying yes here. In terms of combination bet, I'll go with either team to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going with 3-1 in favor of Inter Milan. And on the handicap system, I'm going to take Inter Milan to win this one by a goal as well. Alright, those are my predictions for Inter Milan versus Sampdoria. And now we're going to move on to our next game, and our next game is Empoli versus Atalanta. And this is on Sunday. Alright, Empoli versus Atalanta, and for this game now, this game should be an interesting encounter. Interesting in the sense that I don't think it's going to be easy for Atalanta, and it's going to be close. Yeah, so I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Alright, in terms of my predictions, I'm going to go here. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory for Atalanta. In terms of on the handicap system, that is, go with Atalanta to win by a goal, but based on my predicted score, now we're going to have to take a draw here. Alright, recapping predictions for Atalanta versus Empoli. Empoli versus Atalanta, expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Correct scoreline for me, I'm saying 2-1 here in favor of Atalanta. And in terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go with a draw here based on my predicted scoreline, -1 for the away team winning by a goal, but I'm going to go with a draw based on my predicted scoreline. Alright, 3-way handicap system, that is. Alright, so those are my predictions for Empoli versus Atalanta. Now we're going to move on to our next game, which is Cremonese versus Udinese. Cremonese versus Udinese. Cremonese versus Udinese. Well, sorry about that. Alright, so predictions for these guys, for the Nazies. For this game, as you know, Udinese, they have been having a really good season so far, and I'm expecting that to continue this weekend. As it relates to them facing Cremonese, the possibilities, I think it's split both ways, in the sense that I think this one is a possibility that this one could end in a draw, as well as Udinese taking it all. But let's see. Let's head into the predictions and tell you what I am thinking and what I have come up with after my research. Right, then the predictions for Cremonese versus Udinese, I am going to go here with both teams not to score. In terms of combination bet, I'll go with either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm going to take Udinese to win this one 2-0. In terms of the handicap system, I'll go with Udinese to win this one by a goal as well. Alright, so recapping predictions for Cremonese versus Udinese. I'm expecting both teams not to score here. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline 2-0 in favor of Udinese, I believe. And on the handicap system also, I would go with Udinese to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Cremonese versus Udinese game. And now we're going to move on to our next game. And our next game is Spezia versus Fiorentina. Spezia versus Fiorentina. For this game now, we're going to have it should be an interesting matchup. Fiorentina, they're trying to make their way back. The season did not get off to a good start, and so therefore I'm expecting here that they should improve in a couple of weeks. Alright, so for Spezia versus Fiorentina, in terms of my predictions for this game, I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a combination, I go with either team to win and both not to score. Predicted score line here for me, I'm going to go with a 1-0 victory here for Fiorentina. In terms of also could be another combination where we could say either team to win and both and the total goals in the game under 3.5. In terms of the handicap system now, go with Fiorentina to win by a goal here based on my predicted scoreline. Alright, so recapping predictions for Fiorentina versus Spezia. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both not to score. In terms of correct scoreline, I'm going to go with Fiorentina to win this one by a goal. In terms of another combination bet, I'll go with say either team to win and under 3.5 goals for this game. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go with Fiorentina to win this one by a goal as well. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Spezia versus Fiorentina game, and we're going to move on to our next game, and our next game is Lazio versus Salernitana. And we saw where Ribéry retired over the weekend, announced his retirement. A really wonderful footballer, one of the best midfielders in the modern day game. That is alright. So let's head straight into the predictions for Lazio versus Salernitana. I'm expecting Lazio to win here. Lazio haven't been having the best season, but I expect them to win this one. They also will be playing in Europe this season as well. Well, this week, but I said this season they'll play in Europe this week as well. As I mentioned to you earlier, we're having the Europa League, the Conference League, and the Champions League this week. So I'm expecting them to win here. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm going to go here. I'm going to see both teams to score. In terms of combination, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predictions for the correct score line, I'm going to go with 2-1 in favor of Lazio. And on the handicap system, I'm going to go here with Lazio to win by a goal. And the reason why I'm going with Lazio to win by a goal here is because there's a strong possibility that this game might end 3-1 in favor of Lazio. Yes, even though my scoreline says otherwise, and it based on the prediction that I'm giving you here on the handicap system, it says otherwise. There's a disparity between that and that, but I do believe that Lazio will win this game by a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for Lazio versus Salernitana, I'm expecting Lazio to win this game, and in terms of both teams scoring, I'm going to say here both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Lazio, and in terms of the handicap system, I'm going with Lazio to win this one here by a goal. Alright, moving on to the next game, and the next game is Torino versus AC Milan. I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life with regret in front of me. I need focus to keep me for Torino versus AC Milan. Sorry about that. Here, Torino versus AC Milan, it should be an interesting matchup. It should be a close one, I do believe. I'm going to say both teams to score here. In terms of correct scoreline, I'm going to take 1-1 draw here. And in terms of the handicap system, if I were to go and take something on the handicap system, I would go with AC Milan at +1. Alright, and in terms of combination bet, I'll go with either team to win and under 3.5 goals in this game. Alright, so possibilities, predictions, betting tips for Torino versus AC Milan. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a correct scoreline, I'm saying 1-1 here. On the handicap system, I'm going with AC Milan at +1. Alright, and in terms of a combination bet, I'm going to say here either team to win and under 3.5 goals in total for this game. Alright, so those are my predictions for Torino versus AC Milan, and now we'll move on to our next game, which is Verona versus Roma. Verona versus Roma, and for this game now, here Verona versus Roma, this one is going to be another, I don't want to use the term close to contested contest, because as I say, Roma will be playing in Europe this week as well, and so that might have an impact on the result. Yeah, so but I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of correct scoreline, I'm gonna go with another combination bet here, either team to win and both to score. Correct scoreline, I'm going to say here 2-1 in favor of Verona, and otherwise I think it's going to be the other way around, 2-1 for Roma. Mind you, some of the times these games with Roma, they're away, they tend to have a lot of goals, so we might have more than 3 goals in this one. Alright, so you might have a high scoring encounter in which Roma come out on top here. But for me, that's where my head is at. That's where I'm going to put my bet. Alright, in terms of Verona winning by a goal here, I am going to go with draw here in this system. Go a draw. I'm expecting Roma to win by a goal, but I'm going with a draw here. If Roma indeed, no, not Roma, Verona. If Verona indeed wins this one, 2-1, then it will be a draw on that system. Alright, so on the 3-way handicap system, that is. Alright, so recapping predictions for Verona versus Roma, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'll go and I'll say either to win and both to score. In terms of correct scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 in favor of Verona. Otherwise, it might be a draw, or 2-1 in favor of Boom. But I'm going 2-1 for Verona. Alright. So in terms of the handicap system, I'm going to go with a draw here on the three-way system. I'm going with a draw based on my predicted scoreline. Alright. So those are my predictions for Verona versus Roma. And now we're going to head to our final game for this game week, and it is Monza versus Bologna. And Monza versus Bologna. In this game now, it should be an interesting matchup again. I do believe I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win them both to score. In terms of arc score line, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say here, we're going to have a 2-1 victory for Monza. Otherwise, I think this game ends in a draw. So, on the cap system, I'm going to take Monza to win by a goal, but I'm going to take a draw here based on my predicted scoreline. So recapping predictions for Monza versus Bologna, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win them both to score. And also, my predicted scoreline is 2-1 in favor of Monza. And on the handicap system, three-way that is, I'm going to take a draw here, alright, based on my predicted scoreline. So those are my predictions for Monza versus Bologna. And I hope that you took your notes, because that's where the cookie crumbles for this week for the Serie A and betting tips and the predictions. And I say, as usual, I want you to subscribe to my channel, like these videos, click the notification bell, so that's as soon as I send out my videos on a weekly basis, then you can get them in your notifications from YouTube. And share these videos also on your social media pages, and let me also thank you for your time. And as usual, I say happy betting, and I wish you all the best of luck. Thanks, and have a great weekend. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home, it sucks.